Okay, and there we have started the directives also. What are the directives completed? Let's take it. We have completed the ng ng init, ng bind, ng model, okay, ng show, ng hide, ng disable. Okay, these are what we have completed. Now let's continue the remaining directives today. Okay, the next directive that we have to understand is, okay, ng if we have to understand. Ng if it is used to display or hide the element. Okay, suppose there is some element. If you want to display it or hide it, we have to go for ng if. Sometimes the information in the web pages appears or sometimes disappears. For example, if the user logged in, I want to display logout button. If the user not logged in, I don't want to display logout button. There is a condition or not. If the condition is true, then only you want to display the element. If the condition is false, you don't want to display that element. That is run by which one? Ng if. Then for this same requirement, already we have ng show. Ng show also do the same activity. Then what is the difference between ng show and ng if? Listen, ng show means the element appears. Ng show false means the element disappears. How it is disappear? By, by applying CSS style. Okay, by applying an CSS style, display none. There is a CSS property called display none. By applying the display none property for that element, the element will be invisible. But if you talk about ng if, true means the element appears, false means the element disappears. But how it is disappears? By removing the element from DOM. At the time of execution in the browser, it will prepare some tree structure of the elements, right? That is called DOM. From that DOM, the element will be completely removed. For example, we have added some hyperlink, a tag. So if you are using ng if equal to false, this particular complete tag will be removed. From the DOM, the complete element will be removed. Ng show false means just it disappears, but still it's a part of the DOM. It is present inside the web page as per the DOM, as per the tree structure of the elements, it is present in the web page. But only because of display none property, it will be hidden. It is not visible to the user. Ng if equal to false means again the element will be disappear. Then how it is different from ng show equal to false? In case of ng if equal to false, the element will be completely removed from the DOM. For example, we have given a, ng if equal to false means the complete a tag will be removed from DOM. That is the difference between ng show false and ng if false. So check the program. First we have to download this Angular zip file from angularjs.org. How to download that process I have shown you earlier. Just we have to extract it. After extracting, you will get some extracted folder. In that extracted folder, you will be able to find out many files. One of the files is angular.js file. That file we have to copy paste into current working folder, that is C colon angular.js 6am. Now in the same folder we have to place our HTML file. So go to the edit place. In edit place we have to create a new program. We have to save it. Go to file menu, save. We have to select which location, C colon angular.js 6am. The location we have to choose. In the same folder only angular.js file is present, but I mean to say the angular.js file plus HTML file both should be in the same folder. That's why I'm just copying and pasting that angular.js file into current working folder, plus I'm saving the new HTML file in the same folder. For example, I'm giving ngif.html. File name can be anything, extension should be .html. Okay, this is directives 2. Okay, any file name you can give, any appropriate name, whatever you like. Just a file extension should be .html. Now, directives example 2. In this HTML file, we have to import that angular.js file. So script src equal to angular.js. What this statement will do, it will load that angular.js file into the browser, so that we are able to use AngularJS framework in our web page. So many people practically may not give this file extension. It's not allowed. Compulsory we have to give the file extension angular.js. Compulsory it is required. So after that, just double click on the HTML file to run the program. Now we can see that. And how to make sure that angular.js file loaded or not. In the browser, right click inspect element. Right click inspect element, not in the editor. In the browser, we have to right click and inspect element. And once we click on inspect element here, go to debugger option here. Then if you expand this option, C colon angular.js 6am folder, there is a file it is showing angular.js. That means what? Angular.js file successfully loaded into the browser, so that we are able to use any concept of AngularJS in our current working program. After that, we have to say the AngularJS application boundary. Which tag has to be AngularJS application, we can tell. In order to create the AngularJS application, we have to use ng app directive in the HTML tag or body tag or in any HTML tag. For example, here we can use ng app. That means what? This complete program itself is AngularJS application. We can also do this ng app for body tag also, for a div tag also, for any HTML tag we can give ng app. Next, after that, to initialize the variables ng init. To initialize the variables ng init, we are going to initialize the values. Okay, what values we are going to we are going to initialize? I just say a equal to true, and here we have a paragraph. This paragraph has some message like hello or something, but I want to display this particular paragraph depending on the value of the a. So one option is that you can do ng show equal to a. So what is the meaning of this actually? A means true, right? In this place, imagine true. So finally, what does that mean? Show equal to true. Show equal to true means, so just think little bit once. Show equal to true. Meaning is what? You want to display. So that's why the element, I mean the hello message appear here. Okay. ng show equal to true means the element will be appear. Now we are giving for this I'm giving false. Now in this place, imagine false, even they are giving the variable a is equal to false, right? So imagine ng show equal to false. Think once, show equal to false. Show equal to false means what? The element will not be visible. Show equal to true means it will be visible. Show equal to false means the element will not be visible. Next, but still, even it is not visible, still as per the DOM, that element is not removed from the DOM. How to identify that? Right click on this particular web page, inspect element. In the inspect element, you can go to inspector. In this inspector window, you can notice there it is displaying that hello message in the paragraph. So as per the DOM, it is present, but only because of display none property it is invisible. This is what the main meaning of the ng show. But in case if you do ng if instead of ng show, then what happens? The complete element will be removed. See that hello message paragraph completely removed. It is not visible. At the same time, it is removed. So I think you understand the difference between ng show equal to false and ng if equal to false. True means it is same only. It has no difference actually. Ng show true, ng if true, both are equal. False only you can identify the difference. Okay. Next point. NGSRC we're going to see.
Hi,
NGSR.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, like from interview perspective, like if at all, if they ask like what is the main difference between this ngIf and ngShow, if we say this point, like I mean, if for ngShow it will remove the element by using CSS style, for ngIf it will remove the element from DOM. So is this point enough, sir? Like, or do we need to add any other points, sir?
Nothing. This is the main point actually.
Okay. So from interview perspective, also this is the main point.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. And Jaydeep, have you logged in twice or?
Yes, yes, sir. Because from my laptop, I could not able to talk to you.
Okay. 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 Next point. NGSRC. Okay, what is NGSRC? It is used to set SRC attribute of any HTML tag dynamically. Okay, this is the actual description of this NGSRC, but how it is done? So, to understand this sentence, let's see one example. By example, we can understand this. First, I want to display some image in my web page. First, we have to copy paste image file into current working folder. So, just what will I try to do? We have to collect some image file like this. We can just download the any image. We can download any image from internet. Just we can copy paste that image file into current working folder. Next, after that, I want to display this image in my web page. What is the file name of this? Hyderabad.jpg. Then what we have to do? img src equal to that file name we have to do. img tag is used to display image in the web page. Src means the source path of the image. We can give any file name. And what is the problem here? That image appears in a large size. I mean, as per the original size, it will be appear. How the image size actually, that image size as it is will be taken. Now I want to reduce the size. We can reduce the size by using width and height attributes. For example, width 400 pixels, height equal to 300 pixels. Now width and height has been changed. Now I want to assign this particular value dynamically. That means I want to take one variable and I want to give this particular value here. We can do that, right? By using expressions, we can do that. So in the expression, you are giving b. In AngularJS, the expression means it will replace with the actual value of the variable. In this place, the actual value will substitute. What is the value? Hyderabad.jpg. That value will be substituted here. And if you can run this, it's working. And there is a problem here actually. Practically, we have a problem. What is the problem? Just if you open the same HTML file in the Chrome browser, you are able to identify the problem. Open the program in Chrome. In Chrome also output is coming. Output has no issues. Only the problem here is that right click on the web page, inspect element. Okay, right click on the web page, inspect element. And here we have to go to console. In the console, it is showing a message saying that error means error, file not found. It is saying file not found. What file is not found? This one. It is showing this message. Okay, what is this actually? Let's decode this. As per the encoding standards, percentage 7b. As per URL encoding, percentage 7b is equal to opening curly brace. Okay, again as per URL encoding, percentage 7d is equal to closing curly brace. That's why in this place where you can assume opening curly brace, in this place where you can assume again opening curly brace, this b will be as it is only, lowercase b. And after that, this one is equal to closing curly brace, and this one is equal to closing curly brace. So overall, this one is equal to this one actually. That means what? The browser is still thinking that this is a normal file name. It is sending a request to this address. There is no any such a file called this particular file. With this name, no file exists in the browser, right? In the folder, right? That's why it's showing error. Since the browser is sending a request to this address, that means equal to this address, and that file is not found, it is showing error. Then immediately later, when AngularJS has replaced this part with this actual value, then anyway that file name, that file has been loaded again, so the output is displayed. Overall, two times it is sending request to the file. One is it is sending request to this address. Immediately AngularJS replaced that expression with the actual value. Then it has sent request to that Hyderabad.jpg. So second time it worked. I mean Hyderabad.jpg loaded and it is displayed. It has no error. Well, the first time it is sending request to this address, right? So that is a problem. That will increase my errors in the web page. See, it's not like a one time or two times, right? Every time when you open the web page in the browser, same error repeats. So I don't like to display errors in my web page like this. I want to avoid this error. Then what to do? Instead of src attribute, we have to do ng-src, means Angular. Since any word that is related to Angular will be started with ng. In other words, when since any word is starting with ng hyphen that is related to AngularJS only, HTML doesn't recognize this ng-src. HTML doesn't recognize the ng-src. So as per HTML point of view, src attribute is not supplied here. In this program, src attribute not supplied. That's as per HTML point of view. That's why the browser will not make any request to server to download the image. But when AngularJS has really replaced this part with the actual value, suppose it is replaced like this, then this AngularJS will set that src equal to Hyderabad.jpg, automatically it will set. That AngularJS will automatically dynamically set this attribute src equal to Hyderabad.jpg. Then browser will make request to the Hyderabad.jpg and the image will load and output will come. So the main point is, as ng-src recognized by AngularJS only, so browser will not recognize this and will not send any request to this particular file. When AngularJS has replaced that expression with actual value, then browser will send request to the particular file and that file will come. So in that way, we avoid sending a request to this address. So there is no such an error. So overall, we have avoided the error of loading this particular file. Only actual file will be loaded. That unnecessary request to this address will be avoided. So errors are clear. I mean, there may be other errors in the program, that is another, but this error is clear. That is the advantage of using ng-src. So check it by giving expression here. Refresh the web page. Check it. There is no any error. Still image appear. Now browser is not making two requests. Browser made only single request, that is to Hyderabad.jpg. There is no any request sent to this address. So in that we solve the problem. Okay, so it avoids sending request to in this place any variable name we can assume. So to avoid the sending request to this address, we have to go for NGSRC. So we avoid the error. Okay, next, so syntax NGSRC equal to, here we have to give variable name. Okay, fine. Next, next part, ng class we have to see. Ng class, it is used to set CSS class name dynamically to the element. So just observe this particular title. Just observe this particular definition. It is used to set CSS class name dynamically. So what is meant by CSS class? How do you set the CSS class statically? How do you set the CSS class dynamically? This type of doubts we have to clarify. Now first, CSS classes are used to apply some style to the element. Like the background colors, font size, any kind of CSS styles. Let's create a CSS style here. Style. Inside the style, dot class 1. This is one CSS class. Here we can apply any properties like font family, font size, data spacing, color, anything. Suppose I set a background color dark green, text color white, font weight bold. Next, border 3 pixels solid red. Some style has been applied. Next, we have one more CSS class for this. So pink background with black color text, font style italic, no border, data spacing 6 pixels. Okay, some CSS classes we have defined. If you know CSS, you can understand all these things. Anyways, so how do you set this class 1 or class 2 to this element? Generally, we'll do that by using class equal to the class name. For example, class equal to class 1 here. Then the class applied check it. For the para1 now we can see the class 1 means whatever the properties we have defined in the class 1, all those are applied here, check it. Okay, now we can also apply class 2 if you want. Just we will do class 1, class 2. Now the class has been changed. It's okay, done. But what is the point here? How to set the CSS class dynamically? This one is actually statically we have set. Dynamically. Dynamically means we can change it while running the program. Through coding, we should be able to change it. That's what dynamic means. Static means once the web page is open, it will not change. But dynamic means we can change programmatically or conditionally, situationally. So that's what the dynamic means. So here, suppose we have a variable c equal to class 1. This class 1 I want to set as a class here. Then what to do? We can do ng class equal to that variable name c. In this c, what is the value? Class 1. So imagine class 1 here. Imagine like a class equal to class 1. That's it. What I mean to say, ng class equal to c is concept wise equal to class equal to class 1. We are writing ng class equal to C, but it internally take it as class equal to class 1. So that's why now we can see class 1. Next, after that, if you change the value here, for example class 2, then automatically it will change here. Okay, so based on the value what you have is initialized here, accordingly the class will be applied to the element. We can also make it as a condition. We can apply anything. We can also make it completely dynamic. For example, we can make it like a, if the student is pass, I want to display green color. If the student is fail, I want to display red color. We cannot say choose this type of requirements. Depending on the condition, we can apply the style. That's what the goal of ng class. So syntax is ng class equal to the variable name. That variable should contain the class name. The next point, all these are related to event handling. What is the meaning of event handling? Whenever you do some action in the keyboard or mouse, automatically some code will execute. For example, if you click, something happen. If you double click, some other thing happen. If you type something in the keyboard, some other thing happen. If you select some checkbox or radio button on drop down list, some other thing happens. If you move the mouse pointer across the element, then another thing happens. If you place the mouse pointer on the element, some other thing happens. So this type of requirements you can achieve. So real web pages also, if I can check, you can imagine Google, Gmail, Facebook, anything. Suppose in Facebook, if you click on any share button, then only the post will share. If you click on reply button, then only reply text box will come. If you type some character, then only the the text will be displayed. I mean, suppose you have typed, you want to mention your friend in the comment. Just you will type at the red symbol in the comment, then only the friends list will come. So this type of things are happening whenever you do some activity, then only some other result is coming. All these are achieved by using event handling. So the topic name event handling in AngularJS. Event means keyboard or mouse action performed by the user at runtime. Examples of events: click, double click, focus, blur, key press, change. Like this, we have so many events. We have keyboard events and mouse events also. Then to handle these events in AngularJS, we have the predefined directives. What are they? ng click, ng dbl click, etc. See, for example, ng click is to handle click event. ng dbl click use it handle dbl click event, and so on. Left side one is a directive name, and right side one is the event name. So which directive handle which event you can see here. Like this, we have all these events. Okay, for example, to handle the focus event, ng focus, to handle blur event, ng blur, and so on. Focus means cursor in, blur means cursor out. So there are some other events also, just these are the important events that we have to notice. Let's see the examples of all these. First, let's see the ng click. To avoid the confusion, I'm taking a separate program. Events, just file name events.html. Okay, events.html. First, we have to import that angular.js file. After that, we have to give ng init, ng app, and ng init. Okay, here there is some variable. For example, a equal to hi. Some variable a equal to hi is a variable. Okay, we are going to display that value here in the paragraph. How to display that value? By using the expression. So the a value will be displayed here. So in this place you can export hi. And this is a data binding, one-way data binding. That expression is always representing one-way data binding. What is the meaning of one-way data binding? Every time you modify the value in the variable, the same will be automatically reflected in the output. See, in the memory, A will be stored in the output in the browser. That value is appear, hi is appear. Every time you modify the value of A property, automatically the same is updated in the output. It's like a variable is a remote for you, the output is a TV for you. To operate the TV, you can press the remote. Through the remote, you are able to operate that value. You modify the value of A, automatically the output will change. But here there is no question of changing the value of the paragraph at runtime. See what I'm saying? At runtime, the paragraph is up here. Is it possible to change the value of this particular thing directly by user? Suppose user wants to type something in this place. Is it possible? Not possible. So there's no question of changing the value of the expression at runtime. And even though we can change by somehow, the value will not be updated back to the variable. That's why we have to call it as one-way data binding. But how to achieve two-way data binding? We require a text box. First, we require a text box or checkbox or radio button or drop-down list. Any one of the form elements is required. There we have to use ng model to apply the two-way data binding. Once apply the two-way data binding, the values will be exchanged between the variable and the output, vice versa. So, we are giving input type equal to button, value equal to click me. Now we have a button. When we click on this button, I want to update the value of this particular variable. Then what I'm trying to do, ng click equal to, we can write any code whatever you wish. For example, a equal to hello. A equal to hello. Initially at the time of opening the page, what is the value? A equal to hi. After click on the button only, A equal to hello. How do you see that? After click on button only by using ng click. It has handled the click event. Simple to say. If you click on the button only, it will become hello. Otherwise, it is by default hi. Check it now, it is just high. After click on button, it becomes hello. See, when we said a equal to hello here, the value is updated in this a. Already the high will be overwritten, the new value hello will sit there. Since the variable has been changed, automatically the expression output will change. In that way, the value is updated. There is no direct connection between the button and this paragraph. Through this relation only, through that variable relation only, that it is achieved. This is the style of writing the program. So first we have to store the value in a variable. Then only we can print it, we can modify it, we can get the value, we can do anything. We can do any operation on this data, but you must store that data value in a variable. Without storing, it's not correct or possible to manipulate the data. That's the main style we have to follow in AngularJS. Any kind of dynamic value you have to store it in a variable. How to create that variable and how to initialize it by using ngInit. Even in real time also, we are not going to use ngInit. Instead, alternatively, we are going to use MVC, Model View Controller concept. That part I will show later. But there also we have to create the variable, we have to initialize the value. Only syntax may be different. So, anyways, so here once again check the output. Initially high. After click on button, it becomes hello. Okay, we have understood the ng click. Similarly, we have ng dbl click, ng focus, others. One by one we'll see. So first ng dbl click. Suppose we have a div. Div means division of the page. Certain part of the page is called as div. For example, you can assume this part is a div. Suppose this is your web page. Each meaningful part of the web page is a div. You're dividing the web page into multiple parts, right? Each part is a division of the page, part of the page. So here I'm just giving style, background color. I'm just giving background color. And my intention, when we click on this particular div, I want to update the value of the A. So ng dbl click equal to you double clicked. What happens? Check it. First this div will be appear. It will say double click me. When we double click it really, then it will update the value of A dynamically. Check it now. Initially it is saying double click me. When we double click this particular div, then see it has updated the value. Not only updating the variable value, we can do any activities, but how to perform complex operations, I will show later. In MVC architecture, we can do that. Presently, as per this stage, we can just assign a value to the variable. We can do just small activities only we can perform as per this stage. But in real time, the click event code will not be this much simple, right? Will be too much. I mean, hundreds of lines of code you will write in each click event or everywhere. Lot of validations, storing, retrieving, everything. So that can be performed through MVC architecture, which I will explain in the next class. But as per this level, we can just do this type of small activities. So here, try to focus on the directives, understanding when to use which directive. The main intention is today is, as per this stage is what? When to use which directive. Okay, next, ng focus, ng blur. Focus means cursor in, ng blur means cursor out. Whenever the cursor in, focus event it will execute. Whenever the cursor out, ng blur event will execute. Cursor means blinking one. See, suppose we have a text box. See, we have a text box here. Now, observe carefully, observe the text box. Cursor in, right? When the cursor has entered, then it will execute what event? Focus event. Now I'm pressing tab key. Now what happened? Cursor is go out. When the cursor is went out, automatically it will execute blur event. When the cursor entered in, focus event. When the cursor out, blur event. See, once again, cursor is entered right now. What event executed right now? Focus event. Now again, cursor is going out. I press the tab key. Then what event executed? Blur event executed. So we can do any activities in that. For example, please enter register mobile number. Okay, some message we have given in this variable. Just we are giving that variable value we have printed here. B we have printed here. Now it is look like this. A comma not allowed. Semicolon. Okay, fine. So now you can see the message. Please enter the registered mobile number. But my requirement is I don't want to display this message directly like this. When the cursor is in, then only it should be appear. Suppose cursor is entered into the text box now. Now it has to appear. When the cursor is go out like this, then that message should be disappear. I want to show this message only when the cursor is inside the text box. Then what to do? ng focus equal to, then only we have to assign the value. On focus only we have to assign the value. So I'm just cutting that value and pasting here. So when the cursor is entering, then only the message will be assigned. And on the blur event, means on the exit, B should be empty. Empty single quotes I'm providing there. Empty single quotes. So on the focus, when the cursor is entering, then only message will be assigned, then only it will be appear. When the cursor is get out, then the text has been removed from the variable, so it will be disappear. Just for declaration purpose here, I'm going to give empty single quotes. This is only for declaration purpose. So finally, now there is no any value in the B. That's why it is disappear. Now, when the cursor enter in, then only appear. When the cursor get out, it is disappear. This type of requirements you can achieve through focus and blur. In real-time applications also, we will use focus and blur. Remember, whatever the topics exist in the syllabus, all the topics are important for real time. There is no need of asking, do we need to use this concept in real time? Whatever important for real time, for interview purpose, for useful really, then only those topics only added in your syllabus. Is that? So for example, I just go to Gmail. I click on create an account. Now check it. When the cursor enter into the text box, then only message appear. If the cursor is go out, message disappear. This type of requirements are achieved by using which one? Focus blur. 1 second. Okay, done. Next one, ng key up. ng key up means when you press any key on the keyboard, it will execute key up event. You press some key on the keyboard, then it will execute key up event only. Suppose there is a text box, so user can type anything whatever he wish. Suppose I'm pressing some key A, then what it will execute? Key up event will execute. You press B, you press C. Whichever the character you press, maybe alphabet, a digit, a space, a backspace, any key you press in the keyboard, it will execute what event? Key up event. In that key up event, we can do any activities. As I told already, at this moment, at this stage in our codes, we can perform only simple activities like assigning value into the variable. Complex code, lengthy amount of code you can write through in MVC architecture, so don't worry about that. Try to follow the concept. Now listen, ng key up equal to, we can do any activity here. For example, I am assigning C equal to, just I am declaring a variable here, C equal to empty single quotes, just to C equal to key pressed. Okay, I am displaying that C. Okay, so what happens at this moment? So whenever you press any key on the keyboard in this text box, then automatically it will update C equal to key pressed. The same message will be appear exactly in this place. Suppose you have pressed A, but it is saying key pressed. B, again it has refreshed, re-updated as key pressed. Like this, whenever I assign the value, whenever you have assigned a value into the variable, that variable will be automatically displayed here. We can do more meaningful activity, like suppose we have another variable D. Okay, C and D, we have taken two variables and we have taken two text boxes, source text and a destination text. My requirement is I can copy the value from this source text. I want to display the same in the destination text. First, we have to create the binding or not. This text box should be binded to which variable? First text box should be binded to C. How do you say that? ng model equal to C. What is the meaning of ng model? It is used to create two-way data binding. Every time when you modify the text box value, the same is updated in the variable D. Every time when you modify the variable value of D, it will update the same value in the text box. Mutually, the values will update. So this type of things happen. This type of things happen when you give ng model. Same way I am giving ng model for D also. But when you modify the value of the text box, when you press any key on the keyboard in the first text box, the same I want to copy into the second text box. So ng key up equal to means when you press any key on the keyboard, what value you want to set, that D equal to C. D equal to C. C value I'm going to copy into D. Now we can check. Now we can check. I'm pressing some character in the first text box, the same is being copied into the second text box. I'm typing in first only, but being copied into second one. So this is about key up. We have one more similar, that is key press event. What is the difference between key press and key up? When you press the character, before accepting the currently pressed character in the text box, key press, after accepting key up events execute. Suppose you have pressed some character D. Before accepting D in the text box, key press event executes first. After accepting D, key up event executes. I think in your JavaScript already you know the difference between key press and key up event. So I'm not repeating that. Next one, mouse over event and mouse. There is one more, mouse move. Okay, mouse over and mouse out. When you place the mouse pointer on that mouse over event, when you come back, mouse out event executes. Check it. For example, you focus on this particular div. Okay, when you place the mouse pointer on that, what event it will execute? Mouse over event. When you come back, mouse out event executes. When you place the mouse pointer on this particular div, mouse over event. When you come back, mouse out event executes respectively for that div. So it can be imagined as a text box, it can be imagined as a button or whatever it is. Any element you take, you place a mouse pointer on that mouse over event, come back, mouse out event execute respectively. So okay, we have another div. And we have a variable c equal to mouse over me. We have a message c equal to mouse over me. I want to display this value here. So c equal to mouse over me. We are going to display not c, okay, c already used. Okay, e equal to mouse over me. Okay, now this mouse over me message will be appear here. So when you just run this, now you can see which one, this one. Okay, fine. Now my goal is when you place the mouse pointer on that, I want to change that value. Exactly when you place the mouse pointer on that element, what event will execute? Mouse over event. And when the mouse pointer is get out, what event it will execute? Mouse out event will execute. So on the mouse over, we are going to update the value as equal to equal to thanks. So when this message will be updated, when you place the mouse pointer on that element only, the value will be updated. When you come back, when you come out, mouse out event will execute. There what you say E equal to mouse over me. When you place the mouse pointer on that, thanks. When you come back, mouse over me will execute respectively. Now we can check there. You place the mouse pointer on that, it is saying thanks. You come back, mouse over me will execute respectively. Mouse over, mouse out. On mouse over, we are updating the message thanks. On come out, we are updating the value. Whatever the value we have updated here, that will be just immediately appear here. To replace this value, we need not write separate code because already through data binding set automatically update. Next one, mouse move event. What this mouse move event will do exactly? This mouse move event will automatically identify, automatically will execute every time when you move the mouse pointer across the element. Within the same element only, within the same element only from one position to another position, if you move the mouse pointer, it will execute mouse move event. Okay, check the program. Okay, so suppose we are declaring a variable f equal to empty and f equal to mouse move. Okay, ng mouse move equal to means when you place when you move the mouse pointer, just we are updating f equal to mouse mode. So when you run this program, presently what it is saying mouse move me. When you move the mouse pointer, every time when you move the mouse pointer, for every pixel change here within the same element, it will re-update the value which one? Mouse move. So for each movement in the mouse pointer, it will execute mouse move event. Only one time when you place the mouse pointer on that mouse over will execute, but for each pixel change in the same element, mouse move event will execute. Next one, change event. The change event executes whenever you change the value of a form element. Suppose we have a text box, checkbox, ready button, drop down list, something. When you change the value of the element, suppose you have checked the checkbox, you have selected the ready button, you have selected some item in the drop down list. In all these cases, change event executes. To handle the change event, we use ng change event, ng change directive. So let's take separate examples for ng change. Okay, ng change. Now, suppose let us give ng change for a checkbox. I'm giving a equal to true. So ng change equal to okay. See, we have a checkbox. We have a checkbox. When we have to display the checkbox, whenever you want to display yes or no type of option to the user, we have to go for checkbox. Yes or no type. So if the tick mark is there, it means true. Tick mark is not there, it means false. When you want to display just yes or no type of option, we have to go for checkbox only. How to connect this variable to this checkbox? ng model equal to a. Meaning is what? The checkbox value, the checkbox current status will be automatically updated in this A. Means if the checkbox is checked, A become true. If the checkbox is false, if the checkbox unchecked, A become false. So presently A equal to true, right? So automatically checkbox is checked. In case if you uncheck the checkbox, automatically internally A become false. In memory it happens, in the source code of the program nothing changes. In the memory of the browser it will change. If you want to see that really, just take into A. In this expression, we are displaying the value of A. Now, presently it is true, and now it is false. Okay, every time you make it true or false, you want to do some activity. For that reason, we'll go for ng change. So in the ng change, what I'm trying to do, so we are updating ng height equal to, suppose you're giving true. You check the checkbox. Okay, something is selected. So ng height equal true means that will be hidden, and ng height equal to false means that will be visible. Okay, fine. Now we want to hide or show this based on this value of the checkbox. So that's why what I'm trying to do. I'm going to give in b equal to true. I'm giving b here. No, b equal to false. B equal to false means that will be visible. Okay, well now what we have to do here, I'm giving ng change equal to means every time we check the checkbox or uncheck the checkbox, it will come here. Understanding? We check the checkbox, we uncheck the checkbox. Every time when you check the checkbox or uncheck the checkbox, automatically it will come to this ng change. Here what I try to do, I want to copy the value from A into B. B equal to not of A. Not of A means what? Reverse of A. Reverse means what? True become false, false become true. Suppose A value already true, it will become false. Already it is false, it will become true. Just reverse opposite. That not of A is being assigned into B. So suppose already A equal to true. Even at the time of beginning also, when you open the page also A is true, right? What is the meaning of not or true? False. False will be assigned into B. So it will come to this one. In this place, false will come. Ng hide false means it will not hide anything. So it will display the element. Okay, this process happens. Come again, see, listen. A equal to true means not of A means what? False only. False will be assigned into B. Now the B value false. B value false means ng head equal to false. Ng head equal to false means it will not be hidden. Not be hidden means it will be visible. So it will be displayed in the output. Okay, this is the process. Now finally check it. If you uncheck the checkbox, it is a disappear. If you check the checkbox only, it is appear. This process we can achieve through ng change. Every time when you change the checkbox value or radio button value or drop down list value, in all these cases, change event only will execute. Let's see drop down list example. To create the drop down list, we have to use select tag. Inside the select tag, option tag is required. Suppose we are going to display some courses, UI technologies courses, different courses we have. AngularJS, Java, different courses. Now, this drop-down list should be binded to which property, some particular property. For example, C equal to something. By default, suppose we want AngularJS should be displayed. So we are giving this value directly here because I'm expecting that value by default to be selected. Anyways, ng model equal to C. What is the meaning of this? So by default, which item selected? AngularJS item selected. Okay, fine. Now, every time when you change the selection here, automatically this value reverts update into C. At the time of opening the page, this C value is updated in this drop-down list. Later, you modify the value of the drop-down list, the same will be automatically reverse updated in C. That is what two-way data binding, right? Now you can display that C value here. Now you can see whatever is selected there, the same value you can see here. Because every time you change the selection, automatically the same is updating in the variable C. That C value you are displaying here. Now here, what I'm trying to do, just let's do some little bit activity. Like for example, we have D equal to empty. Now every time the value changes here, what the activity you want to do, D equal to C dot length. See, it is displaying 4, it is displaying 9, it is displaying 15. What does it mean? Every time every time we change the selection here, automatically we are copying the length of the string. Length means the number of characters. Length of the string into the variable D, and that D variable is displaying here. So just we can do this type of small activities only, like assigning the values into the variables as per this stage. In the next class, we are going to start which one? Modules MVC, Model View Controller. There we can do complete real operations. I mean, large amount of code you can write whatever you require. So as per this stage, we can perform like this only. But we have understood all these events. So in this way, we have completed the directives. Actually, we have ng repeat and ng view also. These will come later. After completion of model view controller only, we can explain about ng repeat. And in the routing time only, I can explain about ng view. So presently hold these two, don't worry about it. So we have completed the fundamentals of AngularJS. Like we have seen the how to download, how to create the program, directives, how to create one-way data binding, two-way data binding, expressions, how to create AngularJS application, event handling, directives, many things we have seen. So fundamentals completed here. So next in the further examples, we are going to see actual AngularJS, that is what modules, model, view, controller, this part we are going to start. So presently as of today, any doubts you have, tell me.
నా చిన్న ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మీకు వచ్చిందా అన్న నోటిఫికేషన్ వీళ్ళు చెప్పిరా ఏమన్నా?
లేదు.
అవునా, ఓకే.
ఓకే,
ఇది యాంగులర్ జేఎస్ ఎన్ని డేస్ లో పడుతుంది అన్న? యాంగులర్ జేఎస్ క్లాసెస్ ఎన్ని డేస్ లో ఉంటుంది? ఇది యాంగులర్ జేఎస్ 1
అరౌండ్ 1 వీక్ టు 10 డేస్ వరకు ఉండొచ్చు.
ఓకే,
వాడు చెప్తే నేను చెప్తాను.
ఓకే ఓకే
ఓకే, ఎనీ అదర్ డౌట్స్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఇన్ దిస్? ఎనీవన్ ఎల్స్?
లాస్ట్ రికార్డింగ్స్ రాలే అన్న, లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ యాంగులర్.
ఓకే, చూసి అప్డేట్ చేస్తాను.
ఓకే.
Okay, so do practice and we'll continue tomorrow on the same timings. The same link and same time we will continue daily. Okay, thank you. Bye.